Trump and Carson.
Dude, I got a personal message from a Patreon. I wonder if I thought I bookmarked it.
Wow, what a handsome fellow that guy must be. Probably really smart too.
I found it. Let me. Oh, here it is. So this guy's a Patreon, and he wrote, "I'm 18 years old and I'm from the UK. I paid for an escort, but during the fun, she couldn't turn me on. I really don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. She was good looking. I just didn't really connect with her. Is this normal? And thank you, Woody, for helping me through all those couple of years." So this is the guidance that I provide to people. I help them work their way towards prostitutes.
Yeah, that's normal. I think I had a hard time getting it up with the hooker that I had sex with, and it was just because it was a weird experience, and she was like making me wear a condom during oral sex, and it was just so.
Ugh.
Yeah, right. And I had to like really go into like Vulcan boner mode to like.
Did the condom have spermicide on it? Like, I've never had a condom that seemed appropriate for oral sex.
None of them are appropriate for
Well, they make flavored condoms, but in any case, there are no condoms that
What
are
a farce that is.
good for oral sex.
Is a flavored condom safe for vaginal penetration?
Yes.
Because I do know this.
Edible underwear.
No, it's the flavored wet platinum. So they sent wet platinum to me, and I'm actually changing my mind on wet platinum. We'll turn around to that. But they sent flavored wet platinum. We had so much, we ended up giving some to our neighbor. She used the flavored stuff for vaginal sex, and it gave her a yeast infection. And my wife was like, "Yeah, you didn't know that? That's not a thing that you can use." She's like, "Those things have sugars in them and such, and that'll give you a yeast infection." That was news to me.
Then what's the point of it?
It's terrible lubricant. Any of those flavored like I like the wet platinum, just the regular
The black
stuff.
one.
The black one. That's the good stuff. It does what lubricant's supposed to do, and it never gets sticky and tacky afterwards. Like I've used those other lubricants. It sounds like a pitch, but like I don't know how people are using them. Like Astroglide, KY, like both of those aren't even in this.
Those are in two totally different camps of quality, though.
Both of those.
Which one do you put higher?
Astroglide way higher than KY.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like they're both like a 2 out of 10, and wet platinum is a 9 out of 10. Like the only thing about wet platinum is it's a little hard to get off afterwards. You've got to go get some soap and water and a dry towel and sort of
Here's the thing.
remove it.
So
They make special soap for removal, just so you know.
that's good to know. So anyway, here's the deal. KY, I would recommend just moving on elsewhere. It's not my lube of choice. Astroglide is some good stuff. Now, the thing about Astroglide is if it's an extended session, you might want to add more, somewhere along the way. Just be cool with that, and you're okay. Now, wet platinum, on the other hand, is good for like 3 years and 30,000 miles. But the problem with that is when you're done, you're lubed until tomorrow. That's your deal. You're going
you
to walk.
Smell like it. Like your hand.
A little.
You might be right. I don't know. But to me, like, I'll spend the rest of the day a little lubed.
You can feel it on your dick.
That's
on your
your deal.
hands,
Yeah.
wherever it was. Yeah.
And so wet platinum is good stuff, but it's just
Industrial grade sexual lubricant.
exactly. and like I'm coming around to like, you know what? I might prefer Astroglide with a reload to wet platinum. That'd be good tomorrow, quite frankly.
way.
That's better if you have places to be, like quickly.
I feel like the Astroglide leaves a tacky residue there. Like it's.
A happy reminder of what you did earlier.
I don't care for that. The wet platinum, I feel like you could take a washcloth and dampen it
I
and like
misunderstood.
scrub a little bit, and it'll you're clean again. You just there's just more to it than like dabbing the area with a paper towel. It's on there.
To me, Astroglide comes off with water.
Yeah,
I
it
think
does.
I don't
it's
think
water
there's
based.
a bad tacky residue.
That's I don't like that though. It shouldn't be. I find that there is like if you took the Astroglide and you just kept rubbing it between your fingers, after like 30 seconds, it would be like. And it's like, wow,
Very
what the
good
fuck
sound
is this?
effect. I disagree, but that's
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It's like fucking Elmer's glue, like you use the kid and the stick to like put your fucking cardboard paper bullshit together with. Whereas wet platinum, you put that between two pieces of paper. Now those are zero friction pieces of paper. They could hover over each other. You could make some sort of a Rube Goldberg machine or something with that shit. I've used it as gun lubricant. I've had like a squeaky door and put a little dab of wet platinum on there. WD-40, we'll keep a door in order for like a month and a half. Wet platinum, that door hasn't squeaked and it's been 2 fucking years. It's smooth as it can be.
I told you that's it. And for door lube, that sounds fantastic. But when I put this, stuff on Frankenstein,
I get the pump bottle.
then sometimes it's like, I just don't want to be lubed all day.
It's right at $50 a bottle with shipping. I think it's like $45 plus $5
That's so
shipping.
much for lube.
It's a big container. It's this much of it, and it's like a tall bottle, and it's got a pump on it, so that like when you want something, just over the night saying, "Cook, cook." All right, we're ready to go, bitch. You're all lubed up and ready to roll. There's no like opening the cap and like getting a dollop out. I'm like, oh god, there's so much. None of that happens. You get exactly what you want when you want it. You want that pump on there.
We hide our lube from the children though.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
So I got it. So I used to do this. Just at my ex-girlfriend's house, what I kept was I went to like Target and I got a little pump jar, and it could be anything in there. You could put moisturizer in there, anything, and it was just black ceramic, and I filled that up with the lube, and it was over there. And it's don't even that way guests come over, whatever, they don't know what it is.
They think it's hand sanitizer, and they're like, God damn it, it never goes away.
You're clean now. But that's what I would always do. I'm behind that lube 1,000%. I've never run across any. It has to be what do you call it? Silicone-based lubricant. Like that's the only kind that I want any part of.
Is it latex safe? Can you use it with a condom?
It depends how long you're going to be having sex. As long as it's not more than say 45 minutes.
No, I think it is safe.
Not the answer. Let's.
I have seen my condoms be degraded by my lubricant after 30 or 40 minutes. It takes a while.
What if there's like a more subtle degrading that before you see that?
Well, I mean, it'll hold cum. I mean, that's all you need it to do. It's not like you're holding back radiation or anything.
All it takes is one free spirit.
So here, I looked at their FAQ, and it says that all wet platinum products and furthermore all silicone-based 510K medical devices are safe for use with condoms. So,
I don't care what they say. They are not fucking as long as I am. I will bring a used condom next week, and I will show you what happens after a long fuck session with wet platinum on a condom.
You know what? I will take your word for it.
It gets
no, not me. I want to see it.
The condom literally degrades to the part where it'll pull apart like I don't know.
So
like
does it get like sinewy almost?
It's like it's been slightly dissolved in some way, and so the complete structure of it is degraded, so that it'll tear apart, pull apart, all that stuff. I swear I've seen this.
This is a latex condom you're using, not like a sheepskin condom or something like that.
It's not sheepskin, but
I would like you to try a sheepskin condom and tell me how that works with the wet platinum.
It's not latex
Have you ever used
either.
one of those?
Yeah.
No. I use the skin, SKYN. If I'm those are the non-latex condoms.
The sheepskin ones don't stretch in the same way, and they're like cold almost when you put them on.
Yep.
They're kind of yucky.
That's awful.
And knowing that it was part of an animal that, if you got that sheep from Scotland, then very likely your dick isn't even the first to be in that section of intestine. Someone else has used that. That's just, I don't know. It's a weird, gross thing. That's like medieval times.
I'm proud of me for perfecting this and taking the sheepskin out of the condom before I fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really use condoms anymore anyway, but sometimes if you're, say, using a sexual toy on a lady, then you'll put a condom on there to easier clean up for your sex toys or whatever. So, and I've definitely seen it. I've seen this thing happen. It does happen. Wet platinum does degrade certain condoms, and not the sheepskin ones.
Well, we shouldn't be using sheepskin condoms anyway, because it's not 1460 and plastic and rubber.
And that's just gross. Yeah. Although you'd eat a hot dog that was the same thing, right? It's big intestines.
I feel like women are more comfortable with like tools and accessories and stuff like that because they menstruate. Like, from a young age, there's, tampons and pads and all this sorts of whatever
feminine products.
Feminine products in one way or another, potions and shit that they got to deal with. And, so maybe for us, it's like sheepskin. Whoa. For them, that's just like, that's just one more tool in a whole arsenal of bad shit that I deal with.
What, you add what? And it's just another thing?
Sheepskin condoms.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I don't
right?
know.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's yuck, yuck, yuck. And for them,
Well,
it's
the last
like,
thing I would do is like, check this out, honey. It's a sheepskin. It's sheep intestines. Let me just put this on my dick now and fuck you with it. Like I don't think I'd say a word. I just put it on and just I don't want her to know that it's a sheep
They put
intestine condom.
backstories on him. Like, his name was Cody. He was
Aw.
free range. He grew up in southern Scotland.
never been exposed to Taliban, so
No.
this is virgin sheepskin condom.
What if you got an STD from your condom? How ironic would that be?
That'd be terrible. Sheepskin condom's not as good at protecting against STDs.
You should
That makes
try one of
sense.
those this week, Kyle, and come back with a review.
I have no interest in wearing any sort of condom, much less one that's made out of a sheep's intestines. That's just that's a
Well, I
no.
know you don't. It was about my interest.
Well, then you
Dare
should
you rip on it.
go get your own, motherfucker.
I've done it before.
You prefer it over a normal condom? Is there?
Two thumbs down.
They have their
Oh.
pros and cons. I would say that a latex condom doesn't seem as cold. Maybe it just retains less room temperature or something. Like, I'm having a hard time choosing words here.
Warm it up first. You know, put it in a saucepan.
I put mine in the microwave for 6 seconds.
So there's that. It's less stretchy, the sheep. Like a latex condom would, you could fill it up and put your head on it or something if you really
Totally.
were motivated to.
Enormous.
A sheepskin doesn't do that. There is some stretch to it, but I don't think you could fit 4 fingers.
No.
Like
You
you'd
couldn't do those pranks that people do or whatever, where you not pranks, but you put it over your head and then blow it up with your nose. Like, you couldn't do that with a sheepskin.
Yeah. I would guess it pulls till, I'm guessing, I've never broken one like that, but it would pull to 50% larger than the stock size and kind of cut off there. And when you make it its full length, that's kind of the length you get. That's all there is to it. But on the other hand, I feel like latex more quickly converts into some moisture absorbing, friction creating terrible thing. Whereas sheepskin pretty much forever, it's almost like your own skin or something. It just requires less lube to be effective.
I want to see if there are any benefits to this.
the sheepskin?
Why are people still doing it?
I would guess the number one thing is people who have latex sensitivities.
They make non-latex regular condoms though.
Like skin, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is? Skin? SKYN?
Yeah, it's a brand. Or
What,
it's Trojan. It's a offset. It's Trojan skin, I think. I don't know. I don't buy a lot.
What's
of
it made
condoms.
from if it's not latex or sheepskin?
I don't recall exactly. But
Maybe that's why
fucking vulcanized.
it doesn't
rubber.
work well with wet
Maybe.
platinum. Maybe wet, because they say it works with latex condoms. I just assumed that. I didn't know there were more than 2 varieties.
Several, I guess, or at least 2, at least 3, when you count the sheep intestine ones.
It says one of the benefits is that lambskin can be used with oil-based lubricants, unlike latex, and not degrade.
Oh, that's right. I've had condoms degrade with coconut oil. I think maybe.
I think that's pretty common. And then it says they're biodegradable. If you're just really weirdly, the only person who's self-conscious enough about worrying about their condoms biodegradability
Biodegrading.
is someone who's a vegan and they're not fucking with part of a sheep's intestine in the first place. If
Yeah,
they're not going
right.
to eat it, that's a big insult, big middle finger. I won't.
All
eat
right, we're
it.
done.
Shots.
Waste
But
not,
fuck.
want not.
Yeah.
You can get a free sample of skin on their website. I'm just looking at it now.
Howard Stern was saying that he uses condoms with his wife. He still does. They always
Just
use
in case.
condoms. I mean, I think it's because his wife won't let him fuck her without a condom on. Is what I think.
That's weird.
I think that Howard Stern has a super hot wife who won't let him fuck her without a condom.
That's really pathetic.
Do you think that
That's what
it's a trust issue?
I have no idea what that could possibly be, but the guy uses a condom and he's 60 or 70 or whatever he is now, and his wife Beth is just gorgeous, super hot, but something about that is just weird to me and bizarre that this guy is still using a condom to have sex with his wife when there's got to be something else they could do.
Maybe he has herpes and
Oh, I mean, you're not always contagious.
I don't know.
It's only when you have an outbreak.
Only during a flare-up.
Yeah, only a flare up.
The commercials say that you can still transmit it, not during a flare-up.
Ah,
They usually don't lie in those kinds of commercials, just like the anti-smoking ones. Bound by law, to be honest.
shit. No, yeah, they made genital herpes out to be a much bigger deal than it was. I thought that that it would be just the shocker, but I've coped with it just fine. Not a big deal at all.
You showed me on the last trip we were at together, and honestly, a little gross, but
Yeah.
look at it for 5, maybe 10 minutes, and you get used to it.
Yeah.
When you
I
infected
had a
me, I
cold
was
sore.
initially mad.
I did once, so not affect you, but I went down on a girl once, and I had a cold sore on my lip that was like 95% healed, but you could still kind of see it there. Gave her genital herpes, and it was just an ordeal. She was sitting on ice bags, like she had this full on, like her pussy was just fucked, and it
That's
only
very
happened.
different
Yeah,
than genital herpes. Like, everybody has that. Like, when you're about to get sick, that's when you get like cold sores because your
I
immune
don't
system is
have
so
that.
sick.
you only get
I've
it if
gotten cold sores.
you have herpes. Then that's what
Oh, I
that
know.
is.
It's a kind of herpes. Most people are born with that. And it's just
Yeah, there's two types, but
immune system.
and it's a bit convoluted at times between the two types. And what I still don't know is that if my type 1 can jump on your vagina and become type 2, or if you just have vaginal type 1 or your dick, whatever, if it's a crazy night, what have you. But what I'm wondering is if now you have that for life on your genitals, because she just had the one flare up the one time, never again. After
I think they're very different kinds. Like, I don't think your coughing and not getting enough potassium sore is going to cause that extreme kind of herpes in someone.
I think you're wrong about this.
I could be. I don't know.
What-
I just know the only
what's he
time
r-
I get them is when
Well,
I'm
I think
getting sick.
Well, like I said, there's two types of herpes. I think, and one's the kind that's more commonly on your mouth, and one's on your genitals. But I know for a fact that the mouth kind can jump onto your genitals because I've done it.
But that doesn't make it the second more extreme kind.
If it gets more extreme than that, then you just have to amputate the vagina. Like it was a very extreme flare up. Like, inside the vagina there were sores, outside the vagina there were sores. She could not sit. She sat on peas the whole time. It was awful. And it lasted for like a week or something like that. It was crazy. And I started reading it and like, yep, sure enough, that's a thing.
I've never experienced that, but that sounds really terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't want any part of that either. I get the cold sores probably 2 or 3 times a year, and I actually take the I don't remember what it's called, but whatever the prescription medication is that you take orally to get rid of genital herpes, I take that for my cold sores, and it knocks them out like really, really quickly without them turning into a big crazy thing.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having to go like meet somebody or talk to somebody and having a big canker or cold sore on your lip. That ruined my first impression with my college roommate. Like, I was about to head down to college. It was like 4 days before, and I felt like a hard little bump on my lip, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, not now. Not now. I don't want to be that guy first day at the dorm walking around like, oh, hey, look at this seeping, oozing sore on my lip. And so I get there, and of course, it's just full-blown, and the kid and his parents meeting me, I can just tell. They're like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. like, oh,
Yeah.
God, you need a Band-Aid? You
Mine-
need to take you to the hospital?
Mine gets so big, and I just remember I remember this old man one time being like, oh, well, somebody popped you in the mouth. What happened? And I'm just like, it's a cold sore.
Yeah.
Like
It's
what do you want from me?
don't
I
like-
know it's there. I try not to go out in public. Like, now when I get one, I just become a hermit for those 5 days. I don't want anybody to see that fucking thing.
or if
It's
you get it
awful.
on like the corner of your mouth, you have to like just talk out of the corner of your mouth.
Oh no,
for a
that's
while.
not it. That's not it. It's always right there. That's the only spot. It has something to do, I've read extensively about this, but I guess I don't retain this knowledge very well. But something about the nerves in that area or something. That's always where it comes up every single time. And sometimes it's horrendous, but as long as I treat it quickly, it's not that big of a deal.
Like, Grandpa's got this weird thing, like one of those old people beliefs that anytime anyone in our family is like, I got this cold sore, man, that sucks. He'll just be like, well, I bet you've been eating bananas, haven't you? You can't eat bananas, it'll give you a cold sore. And it's like, Grandpa, that's not true. You can't do that. So anytime someone gets it, he swears to God, even in public, like, see that guy? Bet he was eating a banana. It's not true.
I
If
bet
anything,
he
that
cer-
probably helps.
He probably just sucked a dirty dick.
Yeah.
More
That's
likely.
His nice old man way of saying it.
I've never had a cold sore or genital herpes. Like, I feel like I dodged the herpes bullet, and I just need to keep dodging it.
You could still get it. You shared a drink with me at the last paintball thing.
Oh God,
Yeah.
you dick! I asked for it, and I knew you like turned the bottle and gave me the clean side, and
Yeah.
but I was like, why did I do this? I didn't think of it until afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you didn't get it, or you would have known by now. You'd have had the outbreak by now.
Thank God.
And I didn't think about it until afterwards either. I was like, oh.
No,
And it's not all the time. I have to have one like going, but I was healing up from one at the time.
It lays dormant. Next time you're about to get sick, Woody, like you can feel that kind of.
I've been sick since, like
malaise.
awfully sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
It feels like a tingle and a twinge, and at first, and a little itch like inside your lip, and if you ever feel that, you should get to your doctor the next day and tell him that you've got a cold sore and you want whatever that's. I wish I could think of it.
I know what you're talking about.
Sovoclair, whatever it is. You want clover, something. You want the prescription medicine for genital herpes, and that will fix your shit up within just a couple days. Otherwise, if you just like put like Vaseline or chapstick or whatever on it,
Neosporin.
Oh, it will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all that tissue dies, and then it has to heal underneath as the dead tissue rots off and oozes pus. And then you get in the shower and the hot water's flowing on it, so the scab gets really like ooey gooey. And then you get out and you got a towel off, rub it right off, and now it's just raw skin there again. So you'll be careful, and it'll scab over again. Same thing next day, and now you got a scar. So
and everything that you have to like, aside from those pills, to put on it to make it better is like, all right, you're gonna want to apply this every half hour, and when it looks really shiny and like it's fresh, a fresh wound, that's how you know it's working. Where it's like, all right, how the fuck am I supposed to go out in public looking like this is an open wound on my face?
I keep like when I didn't have the pills and I had to like apply a cream, or I found this stuff that comes in like an eyedropper bottle that was much better. That was like drops that seemed to get hard once you applied them, if that makes sense. Like you applied it, they'd evaporated and left like a hard shell. Regardless of what it is, like every half hour, like you said, I'm in the bathroom like, all right, put a fucking fresh coat on this cocksucker. You're healing fast. But still, it just turns into the most ugly, nasty thing. And if your kids share a drink with some motherfucker, that's how I got it, by the way, as a child. I shared a drink with some dirty motherfucker at school, brought it home, gave it to my dad, gave it to my mom. We all shared drinks, you know? It was just, as a kid, like we shared drinks, apparently. I just let me have some of Daddy's tea. Let me have some of Mama's Pepsi. And just, everybody got it, and I will have it for the rest of my life now, unless they find some cure for this virus.
How often do you get it? Like a couple times a year?
If I'm really stressed out, that's when it's going to come. I get it at least once a year, sometimes 3 times a year.
Yeah, I usually get it in chains, where like one will come up, and then it'll be like almost gone. It's like, all right, I can finally go back to life looking like a human. And then out of nowhere, you know, round 2 pops up in the other corner. It's like, are you shitting me? Like,
never had that.
I have to go for a solid 2 weeks looking like an asshole. But,
yeah, I've never had that. That sounds awful. But I get the one, and then I got to deal with it. And it takes probably 2 weeks to heal up from start to finish if you don't have the prescription oral medication. Herpes talk.
Yeah.
Wow. I looked it up. Cold sores can cause a genital infection and vice versa. But then there was like 6 paragraphs of explaining the relationship and the difference and whatnot. I didn't really absorb it.
I couldn't like I've read what you're looking at least twice, and I still don't understand the exact specifics of it. What I want to know is this: if I go down on you, if I go down on you and you get a genital outbreak, will you have then recurring genital outbreaks ever? Or here's the other thing: will it give you the genital outbreak, and then later you'll get an oral outbreak because it was the oral type that I put on your genitals? Will that happen? Now that seems far-fetched to me, but I would need to ask the question just to be sure. I don't know the answer to that, but what I definitely know,
it appears that if I'm reading this correctly, even though you gave me a genital infection, I still have type 1 that will reoccur as an oral infection.
Interesting.
If I understand this right.
So you'd have an initial genital outbreak followed by recurring oral outbreaks from the genital contact with my lips,
and vice versa.
Okay, so there's a whole like that's an added
if I were to give you type 2, which is the genital kind, it might show up on your lip and reoccur on your junk.
On my genitals. I've got it now. All right, then. Good to know.
If I understand it right, it's possible I don't, but that's
good, because I would hate to think that I had given that poor girl some sort of like lifelong genital herpes, but apparently it's just the oral kind, which she already had.
Oh, okay. Well then, No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul, except for having to sit on those peas for a week.
Oh, so circling back to the gentleman who couldn't get hard from the prostitute. I guess
no
that's
sweat.
No sweat, huh?
Yeah, it's. I had a hard time myself. I had to really focus to like make it happen.
I think I'm lucky in the cock department. I've only ever been me, so I don't know what's normal. But I hear of these other guys who lose an erection while they put a condom on, or they don't get an erection from here. Or like, I don't know. My boy's always sort of done what I asked him to.
Well, you've never tried to fuck a $200 prostitute in a hotel room, so
Fair counterpoint.
yeah.
Yeah. Fair counterpoint. I told a story of a guy a couple weeks ago who had that prostitute, and he, no leche. No leche.
No leche.
No leche. Yeah.
That's great.
Apparently that's Spanish for milk.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I could probably understand something like that.
What?
So like a bad prostitute, she should be good at it. She's always part of a prostitute sex act because she is a prostitute. So by now she should have figured this whole thing out.
Oh, how to make him accomplish his goals?
Yeah. She should be used to guys being nervous and concerned that they're paying for sex and all that. Part of her skill set should be setting you at ease and turning you on in a realistic fashion instead of just like, all right, yeah, this looks about right. Get your pants off.
Yeah. I imagine a lot of prostitutes are actually pretty bad at that. Just guessing, but
I've only had the one prostitute, I think.
The thing is, I watched a documentary on Netflix, I think, and it was about Thailand, and these people would come, and they were all like, the girls were never giving the guys enough attention. Like, they were prostitutes, but they would stay with them from for a couple of days in a row, and they would be at this resort, and the girls always scurried off. Like, in their dream scenario, they earned this money without earning it. So they're whatever, like at the bar or at some other room or whatever, not next to the guy being his girlfriend. And it just seemed like they were all bad, and they all had to be like hounded on to actually do their thing. And one of the customers was fat, like way too fat.
Ugh.
And but that's how the girls were reacting too. Like, I don't want anything to do with this guy. And I'm thinking, like, you're a prostitute. Don't expect, a stream of hotties coming your way.
Yeah, they're not using that service. They, by definition, don't really need it as much.